Welcome back, everybody. Sarcasm Speaks. Jared and Bob here. Thought we were going to be joined by Jones. No Jones tonight. Shout out to him, though. He actually had a fantasy draft. So he was doing a fantasy draft at 7.
Such a bummer.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I might text him right now. And I'll wait. We'll see. I'll text him after this one. So we're doing here's the sausage is being made. Obviously there's a child on the way soon. So we are doing 2 episodes tonight to cover us for next week, to, basically cover that first week of, parenthood and that whole thing where we got to do. So here we are. These 2 episodes could potentially be a little bit shorter because we're squeezing them into one night, but I'm sure you guys will deal and probably not be upset that you don't hear my stupid fucking voice for an hour and a half, just, maybe 45 to 50 instead. But that being said, we got some housekeeping. We have another loser lap to take. The lead singer of Smash Mouth, Steve Harwell, died yesterday in our time. So last week in your guys' time when you're listening to this or watching on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe up top if you're watching on YouTube. But he had liver failure, I think. So another swing and a miss on the death pool. And to be fair, right, to give us a little bit of credit here, I don't know if any of us knew he had like liver cancer or like cirrhosis or hepatitis or whatever the fuck he had that caused him to have liver failure. But
we probably would have had him 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have been like, oh, that the lead singer from Smash Mouth? Yeah, fuck that guy. Want him dead. And then here we are 2 years later. But another missed opportunity. I feel like there was someone else that just died recently too that we missed on.
There's been a few. I mean, it's hard to keep up with everyone who dies.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that die over the course of a year.
Whether it was this year or last year, it's like I hit someone and we didn't even know.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I remember that. We didn't even know.
I think I just picked some super fucking old lady.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, you hit quite a few last year. You did pretty well.
That might be fake news.
2 years ago? You did well 1 year.
Yeah. I don't know. I just remember I had some super old lady and we did not even know.
Marsha Hunt.
Yes.
Yeah, you had Marsha Hunt last year.
Okay, that was the only one I hit and we had no clue.
That is fake news because in 2021 you didn't hit any of them. You had some good ones though. Jones hit 2. 2021 was the year
everyone else hit.
We all hit except for you. We had 1, 2, 3, 4. We had 4 hits that year. 2022 we had 2 hits. And this year, you're the only one that's hit so far.
That's because I'm the fucking smartest person I know.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy when you're the smartest person you know.
Sometimes it's a burden.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, we missed on Smash Mouth. But I've got kind of an opening thought. So I want to give a shout out to Moink. They're not a sponsor of the show. I don't think they can be because I've already looked into it to see if they had like an affiliate sort of sign up thing, and I couldn't find it. But I will give them a free ad in this situation because I think they're just that fucking good. So I think I might have talked about them before on the podcast, but I originally heard about them from the Drinkin' Bros podcast. So the owner and founder, whatever, CEO, however you want to call it, is a woman from Missouri. And she was on the Drinkin' Bros podcast, I don't know, maybe about two or 3 months ago at this point. Talked about her business, right? Again, it's called Moink. You can go to moinkbox.com. And it's one of those frozen meat subscription boxes, and you can choose how frequently you want it delivered, right? Like I have them delivered once a month. You can have it done weekly. You can have it done. I think they allow you to spread it out as far as like 8 or 10 weeks, I think is the longest interval that you can go. But I do it monthly. So every 4 weeks, I get one of these boxes. It is a bit on the pricey side. It's like $160. But again, you have to pay for that shipping, right? And they pack everything on dry ice. So, you get what you pay for, really. So if you think about it, I got shout out to Nick. I was talking to him the other night about this. I got 2 strip steaks, 2 ribeyes, 2 pork butts, 2 12 ounce. Jesus, imagine if they were 12-pound, 12-ounce packages of bacon. What else did I get? Something else. Oh, 2 packages of burgers, right? So there's 3 in a package. So that's 6 burgers and a pound of ground beef. So that's quite a bit of things, right? What did I say? There's strip steak, ribeye, pork butts, bacon. What else did I say?
Is it the standard box? Because I'm on their website right now.
Yeah.
Okay. 2 strips, 2 ribeyes, 2 pounds of ground beef, 2 sirloins, 2 strips, and 2 more sirloins. That's repetitive.
No, so the standard box is like you get X amount of things and you can customize it. So you get to choose what I got 2 more. So that's even more. I got 2 packs of cranberry apple brats because it's like a fall thing. They were doing cranberry apple brats. And Amy has gone 9 months without a fucking hot dog or a sausage. And she likes hot dogs. So I got, and she likes cranberries and apples and sweets and shit. So I was like, we'll go, I'll get the cranberry apple brats. So I got 2 packs of them. So effectively, I think that's like 8 brats, 2 sirloins, 2 ribeyes, 2 pork butts, 2 packs of bacon, 6 burgers, and a pound of ground beef. That's 5, 6, 7. That's 7 things, right? But like more than that because there's two of some things and all that. So I think I got probably like 12 pounds. I think it comes out to be like roughly like 12 pounds of meat for $160. Or is it, what is it, 169 or is it 159?
159.
159, yeah. So it's $160. You get 12 pounds of meat. You can customize what you want delivered, right? So they send you an email, right? Like, hey, your box is going to ship on Sunday. You have until, Saturday at 9 p.m. to change what you want in the box. The offerings change. I don't know how frequently they change. Maybe it's monthly, right? Like I said, like this time I got cranberry apple bratwurst. Those weren't available last month. So the things do change, right? They do have the staples all the time, like the strip steaks, the ribeyes, the things like that. But their whole shtick is they are local, small farmers. Everything is regional to Missouri, and none of it Missouri. And none of it is that like factory farming bullshit, right? Where they take 2,000 cows and shove them in 500 stalls, right? And just shovel food down their throats so they get fat and they can't move and shit like that. Then they slaughter them. These are all free range animals. So that being, said, $160 for 12 pounds of meat when you factor in the shipping because on the dry ice and everything, I mean, that's a pretty solid deal, right? Like, I don't know how much it costs to ship something packed on dry ice that also weighs 12 pounds, but it's got to be at minimum like $30. So, because they don't charge you for shipping, like it's all baked into the price. Um, or at least I use the promo code Drinking Bros when I signed up. So so with that promo code, I get free ground beef for a year. They may have also included free shipping in that. But for as long as I have my subscription, they'll send me a pound of ground beef every box for free. So I don't know. You guys can check that promo code out. Like I said, it's not our podcast. We're not going to get anything from it. I couldn't find an affiliate link to sign up with them, but they're just so fucking good that like I don't even care. I just would prefer that they make more money. So yeah, they're the local grown, all that, grass fed, free range, all kinds of shit. And I like that, right? So tonight we had steaks. So the first month, right, I also got, whatever ribeyes and, I think I got like chicken thighs and chicken breasts in last month's box and things like that. So we just ate 2 strip steaks tonight for dinner. And I didn't cook them any differently than I always do. I used the same seasoning. I used the same pan, the same time on each side, like cooked it exactly how I always cook a steak. And it was fucking delicious, but it was like a different kind of good, right? Like you get a steak at Market Basket, Stop and Shop, Shaw's, wherever you go, Kroger, Big Y, wherever you shop, it's a steak. It's going to be good, right? Like as long as you don't cook it to shoe leather, it's going to be good. But there was something about the steak tonight when I ate it, and I was like, this is the first time I've actually noticed a difference in the taste, where it just tastes better. Right? Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the fucking whatever, there's like whatever minerals, right? Or whatever this cow was eating was good, and it was a happy cow, right? Or whatever, like all that shit. And somehow my taste buds could pick that up. But this was potentially like one of the best steaks I've cooked for myself at home, right? Like I've had steaks at restaurants and, prime ribs and fucking Wagyu steaks that we got at fucking Jimo's bachelor party in Nashville. Like those are fucking delicious. But like this steak might have been the best steak that I've cooked for myself at home ever.
So I made I'm not buying this, but I'm a bad consumer. So if I was gonna do this, I would actually do the no pork one. So you only get 6 things. 2 strips, 2 ribeyes, 1 French cut ribeye. Almost looks like a tomahawk, even though we know it's not a tomahawk.
It's like a cowboy steak, kind of.
2 sirloins, 2 strips, and then the pineapple jalapeno brats. And then my stomach would be trash, but this would be delicious.
Yeah.
On a side note, or I guess a similar but side note, where the fuck can I buy a Thor's hammer?
I mean, you can go to the butcher shop in North Attleboro and he can order you one.
See, I just don't see myself going to North Attleboro.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know of any other butcher shops in the area.
I don't know any butcher shops near me.
Yeah. You know, it's odd too, because
Google would figure that out.
I would imagine that Easton would have a butcher. Like it seems like a town that would just have a butcher.
I don't think Easton does.
But I mean, there's got to be one near you between like Dedham and fucking Jamaica Plain. Well, the only thing about JP is it might be like a Brazilian butcher. You know what I mean? So you might get some non-traditional cuts.
I want a whole beef shank. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I can probably order one online, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I mean, probably.
But like beef shanks are cheap. I feel like it's gonna be expensive just because it's fucking Thor's hammer.
Yeah,
I
probably.
want one of those. I keep seeing them pop up on my Instagram. And
Yeah, they
it's like
do
it
the fucking, they smush it into like either mashed potatoes or
or mac and
mac and
cheese. Like
cheese.
every
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah.
It looks so fucking good.
It does look fucking delicious.
I might have to find one. And just cook it to ever living hell.
So, I mean, what is that? I'm gonna try and do the quick math. If say it costs $20 to ship, let's be generous. So $140 divided by 12 pounds. That's like roughly $12 a pound, which is pretty good for ribeyes and strip steaks. Um, Obviously it kind of evens out, right? Because a ribeye might go on sale for $19.99 a pound. It might be like $21.99 a pound, but then also like you're theoretically paying $12.99 a pound for brats, right? And like burgers. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest here. You're not doing it for its cost effectiveness.
no, no,
Because if you're looking for a cheap option, then this is not it. Because the math just doesn't work out. Because
yeah,
then the other thing, like the pretty much all beef box that I put together, it's not anywhere near 12 pounds. It's like 8.
yeah,
So, yeah. So then you are paying closer, not exactly, but closer to that 20 mark.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
the thing. You're not, but again, you're not doing it for cheap. Like, because if you want to eat cheap, you don't order ribeyes. It's not how this works.
right, right. You're going for quality. So part of it for me is like I'm paying for quality, but I'm also paying for the small town farmers, right? Like when this woman was on the episode of Drinking Bros, she said the town that she lives in is a town of 95 people. And all 95 people in that town, in some capacity, work for her at Moink, whether they're like delivery drivers or they're actual farmers or they're like an accountant or whatever. Like every single person that lives in that 95 person town works for Moink, which is fucking wild. But it's like it was just things like that, right? Where because I've thought about it before doing like the Walden local meats, right? Because that's local to us in New England. That comes from New England farms. There's another one that's local to New England. I forget what it is. Oh, I mean Walden is the big one. Um, and I've come close to pulling the trigger on those too, but like I don't know, there's something about like just hearing the woman's story, right? And just knowing what they do and all kinds of stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, fuck it. I'll support. I'll buy a box, right? Like it's $160 a month. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, is it expensive for some people? Yeah. Yeah. Can some people not afford it? Yeah, absolutely. But like I look at it like the amount of money that I spend on groceries every week and like meat and things like that, like it's not that much more, right? So like this box that I get may cover us for a week and a half of like dinners. So when I get the box delivered and I go to Market Basket to go food shopping on Saturday, I don't buy meat. Like, why? I don't need meat because I have it all in the freezer, right? And then I just pull out what I want for dinner the next night and put it in the fridge and let it thaw over the next, day or so. And then I eat it for dinner. So it's like, I can either spend it's roughly the same amount of money, right, at Market Basket every week, or I get this box that's, like I said, it's a touch more expensive, but then I go for a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks without buying any meat from Market Basket. You know what I mean? So like, it's not like my grocery bill stays the same number. And like I mean, for me and Amy in a week, you know, it could cost anywhere from like 130 to $150 a week in groceries just for the two of us. Um, but if I'm not buying meat, I may only spend $90, Or, like this past week, I knew I was getting a Moink box delivered, so I didn't buy any meat. And I think my grocery bill was like $96. So, it, to me, it evens out, right? Like I said, I recognize that not everyone can pull it off. But I also am a sucker for small business, local farms, real food. I think particularly when it comes to food, like I will go the extra mile and spend the extra money on food, right? Because it's important. Like I value that. Like I value high quality food versus like, I don't know, like I'll go to the Rentham outlets and buy like the cheapest pair of fucking Reebok sneakers because I refuse to buy Nike sneakers anymore because they're insanely expensive and they never last, right? Like, I don't know if you noticed that. I don't think you're not a Nike guy either, right?
I haven't bought Nike in a long time.
Yeah, I noticed like years ago that, well, two things. One, I started to prefer Reebok sneakers because they have a wider toe box and I have wide feet. So it's just more comfortable. Whereas Nike's, like the tips of their shoes get more narrow. So it just make my feet hurt. Um, so I preferred Reebok for that reason. But then on the other side, I found that Nike shoes, like if they lasted you 9 months, like it was a fucking miracle. Like something would always happen, whether like the stitching would start to rip or like the sole would flip off or like something like one of the eye holes for the fucking shoestrings would rip or something goofy would always happen to my Nike sneakers and they would never last very long. And right now, I've had my same pair of Reebok sneakers for 2 years. And just now the front toe piece is like starting to peel off after 2 years. And I'm like, fuck, I gotta go buy another pair of sneakers. But like shit like that, like clothes, you know what I mean? Like even now, like that I'm older, like the iPhone, like I don't give a shit about my phone. I still have an iPhone 12. Like I don't need any of that shit, but I will spend the money on food, right? And things like that. So I don't know. I guess I'm kind of a cheap person when it comes to certain things, but then not when it comes to other things. I don't know what you would call that, but besides retarded.
Yeah, I don't think it's got a title.
Yeah. Selectively cheap.
That's not a thing. We're not titling this. This is not a title.
No, it's 2023. Everything needs a label.
Clearly.
Yeah. So, let's see. What else? What the fuck else we got going on here? When did we start this? So, well, all right, we've only been going for like 25 minutes. We don't have to wrap things up yet. So I got something that's interesting here that I was holding on to see if we could get Sexy Chris on the show because I wanted to get his take on it. But it just didn't work out last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever we tried. And now obviously we're not going to be like in real time recording for like another week and a half. So there is a city in Minnesota called Goodhue where there was some issues with the police force and their pay. They were unhappy with their contract, or they needed their contract was up and they needed a new one. And the city council was like dicking them around. And I forget the like specific numbers, but it was something like appalling. Like it might have been like $22 an hour or something like that, where like minimum wage is 15. And I think like some of the other police departments in the area were starting like in the 30s, like 30 something dollars an hour. And this place was or Goodhue was trying to pay their cops 22 an hour, and there was like a whole thing. So city council is dicking them around. So the entire police force in Goodhue, Minnesota, filed their letters of resignation at the same time.
Well, that's a good thing because, no, actually, are all cops still bad?
No, I think we're past that phase. I think
We're
we're
past
into
that.
the, well, there's so much crime everywhere. Why aren't the cops doing anything? We're in that,
Oh,
we're
so
in
now
that part
we're
of
back
the,
to cops are lazy.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
We just don't have enough cops. We need more cops. But I thought all
People
cops were
actually,
bad.
yeah, I thought I was gonna say, weren't they all bad like
They're not
80
admitting.
years ago?
So the jabronis out there that wanted to defund the police aren't admitting that we need more police, but they're saying everything else, right? Like, oh, crime is getting really bad, or oh, we need these police departments to step up, or oh, don't forget to call the police when something happens. Like, you see something, say something, like, all those things, other than being like, yeah, we need to pay them more and hire more. Like, they're not saying that, but they're saying everything else that goes along with it after, 18 months of, oh, all cops are bad, defund the police. And you reap what you sow.
Yeah, well, Minnesota is just crushing this whole thing.
Yeah. They've brought their police force back, I think, and doubled. Right. So, like, whatever they defunded, say they cut by, I'm making numbers up, say they cut by 10 million. I think they've since rehired and gone above and beyond to like 20 million. Right. So, like, whatever it was, they cut 10 and they added 20. So they've added 10 from where they were before they even cut, like something like that, like something along those lines, because Minnesota turned into a fucking shithole. And they're still Midwesty enough where they're not like tied to their fucking moral standing, right? Like California and, Seattle. They're like, no, we're going to defund the police, and God damn it, we're defunding them and we're not bringing them back because cops are bad. Whereas Minnesota was like, we're going to defund them and get rid of them. And then they're like, wow, this place really fucking sucks. Let's bring all the cops back. Because Minnesota's not completely fucking, dumb. They're just kind of dumb.
Sounds like a nice place.
Yeah. California and Seattle, though, they're very dumb. They defund them and keep them defunded, but then wonder why San Francisco is a fucking hellhole and LA sucks dick. And Seattle is a fucking joke. Yeah.
Can't figure it out.
But yeah, so Goodhue PD, right?
Good for them.
Their entire police department, they were like, fuck you, we're just going to resign.
Yeah. Why the fuck wouldn't you?
Yeah. So they all filed their letters of resignation, including the chief. The chief of police, actually, I think, is the one that led the mass resignation. So they all stood by each other. They all resigned. But so this happened a couple weeks ago, but they agreed to stay on through the end of the month of August, right? So they were like, we're done. We're resigning. You're not giving us a new contract. You're not paying us what guys could make in the next town over. So we're done. But we'll stay on through the end of August. But come September 1st, good luck with your police force. So because of that, the Goodhue City Council, in like the 11th hour, reached an agreement with the police department for them to stay on through the end of the year. So,
you know how much I would fucking demand if that was me?
Yeah.
Going rate's 30, double it. Don't take half.
Yeah.
And you know what? Add another 10% on top.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, we can't pay that. I already resigned. Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you. But so they, like I said, I don't know the details of whatever the agreement is to keep them through December 31st. But
well,
I don't know.
There we go. Good for them. I mean, get fucking dicked around and force the issue.
Yeah. Oh, wait a second. Sorry. I had the story wrong. I have it up. This gets good. So they did resign. They did all quit. I read the line wrong. So the entire police department in Goodhue in southeast Minnesota between Minneapolis and Rochester resigned this month, and Wednesday was its members' final day. Narrowly avoiding having no policing, the city council's contract with the sheriff's office runs through December 31st. So I take that back. The entire police department actually stuck to their word and they did resign at the end of the month in August. And the city council brought in the sheriff's department to contract through the end of the year. So through the end of this year, they will have no Goodhue police. They will only have the sheriff, whatever county, if it's Minneapolis County, I don't know, will be the sheriff department being the police in this town.
Which that's not nearly enough.
Yeah. Oh, here, this is good. So here's a little bit more of the details. The contract cost the city $43,548 for more than 4 months of services. It includes at least 6 hours of patrolling per day, according to the Star Tribune. Kelly confirmed that the sheriff's office has begun working with the city, although it's 4 staff members short.
That's what I was going to say. I didn't think sheriff departments were very big.
Yeah. Yeah, it says the sheriff's office is dealing with its own shortages. So distributing resources to Goodhue is going to be a struggle.
Well, I mean, they only have to work 6 hours a day.
Yeah.
That's fucking comical.
There'll be 6 hours of patrolling.
Bother? Why even bother with that?
Yeah. Like, okay, when's that 6 hours of patrol going to be? Between 8 and 4? All right, I'm going to go commit all my crime at 7 p.m. Like, I don't know.
Fucking stupid.
So I take that back about Goodhue being somewhat smart because they're Midwesty and Minnesotian. They're not that smart. They thought they could fucking get away with it. And they called the bluff of the PD and they held their ground. And now there's no fucking cops. So good luck to them and fuck them. I hope crime increases. I hope the city council, I hope that someone fucking shits on the city councilman's lawn and they can't catch the guy. I hope he does it every day. I hope every morning, every single morning, there's a fucking shit on the doorstep of whoever the chief city, the head council person is for this city, and they can't fucking catch the guy that's shitting because there's no cops.
It would be funny. I would be here for like a bunch of petty crime. So like nothing that's actually criminal.
Right. Well, that's why I said shitting on a doorstep, right? Like
yeah, or just like
TPing their house every
day,
Thursday.
something different.
Yeah. Yeah.
The forks, just stick like 1,000 forks in the front lawn.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing destructive, nothing like criminal.
Yeah, nothing right? Where anyone or anyone's property gets like really harmed.
Right. Like you said, just petty crimes.
How many Kias or Hyundais are in Goodhue, Minnesota?
Oh, there's about to be a lot less.
Well, they'll still be, I guess.
Depends where they take them.
Yeah, you got to dump them somewhere.
Yeah.
What's their equivalent of Brockton?
Minneapolis. Yeah. What's the other one that's I think is actually good? Is it St. Paul?
The Twin Cities?
Yeah. It's St. Paul, right? And Minneapolis, those are the Twin Cities. I think St. Paul is the better city of the two. Mostly just because I never hear anything about it. And you always hear about like dumb shit that happens in Minneapolis. So I'm just assuming that that's the better of the Twin Cities.
Well, there's got to be an evil twin, right?
Oh, that's true. That much is true. So, but yeah, that's what I was interested to get Sexy Chris's take on that, see how things, where things stood. And it's also kind of good that I did wait till this long to go back and look at it. Because I
get the
originally
result.
saw it like two or 3 weeks ago. Because now I know for sure that they did all fucking resign, which is a baller move, really.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. And you know what? I hope they get hired for like different towns. Like I hope they can resign from Goodhue and go work for like fucking
Oh, you
Rochester.
definitely can.
Yeah.
The only problem is getting a reference might be tough.
Well, you could get a reference from the guy that also doesn't work there. Like you don't need
That's
a
true.
reference
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You
to
don't.
still
Yeah.
work at the same, because the
No, I was
reference
just gonna
is
say,
like while you spent your time there.
yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, call this guy. It's like, oh, what's his office number? Yeah, you see, that's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Here's his cell phone. He's great.
Yeah. So it's fun shit on that front.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Because anytime like fucking dumbass city councils can be fucking put in their place.
Yeah. Outwitted.
Not even outwitted. It's like because it's like in order to outwit someone, you would have to like there would have to be some wit involved.
Yeah.
The PD just kind of fucking handled their business and like
Yeah. They
moved on.
called their bluff. Right. And they were like, fuck you.
Yeah, like you know what? You're paying us shit anyway. Like I don't know, like that's even I don't know. I mean, I know wages are different, whatever. If minimum wage here is $15 an hour, why the fuck are cops getting 22? That just doesn't seem like enough.
That's so I just did the math. $22 an hour for a 40-hour work week comes out to $45,760. That's not a lot of money.
Yeah, I don't know what the economics of Minnesota are, but I would like to think that you can find fucking $45,000 somewhere else doing whatever.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see if I can find the average cost of living in Minnesota.
Yeah, I feel like Minnesota. It's going to be a low number because
So it's all by county,
which probably
what
makes
I have.
sense.
Where is Minneapolis? Like, do I know what county they're in? Or I guess
we don't live in fucking Minnesota.
Goodhue would be Goodhue, Minnesota.
I barely know our counties. I don't know what county I live in right now.
Oh, Goodhue County is a county. What are the odds that Goodhue is actually the city is in the county?
I think in most states, I think that's actually pretty common.
Yeah, it is because it's in it. Like we have Franklin County that's in like bumfuck like over by New York. But like I think Taconic is in, I think that's technically Franklin County. But Franklin the town is like by me.
Now are both of those places named after our greatest president?
Well, of course.
Okay.
And there's,
I guess anything involving Franklin's fucked up too, because their golf course is in Rentham. Franklin Country Club is in Rentham.
People just like to appropriate the Franklin name.
Well, again, he did invent electricity and freedom.
So the yearly cost of living in Goodhue County is $52,300.
So cops are under the average cost of living?
Yes.
Why the fuck would you reside?
Yeah. What is that? What did I say? 52.3 minus 52.3. That's like $6,500 under a year. What you need to live. Not just like live comfortably, like what you need to live to get by in Goodhue County. You make over $6,000 less than what you need as a cop, which is already a thankless job, right? People, especially in that
You know
part of the
what? I bet the
world.
firefighters get all the money.
Oh yeah, I guarantee it. Well, firefighters are great guys.
Oh, they're awesome.
Oh yeah. I mean, think of all the lives they save.
Yeah, they're no teachers, but they're
Well, yeah,
close.
yeah, they're close. Not, I mean, no, nothing is teachers equivalent there, but I mean, maybe a doctor is close to a teacher,
Oh,
but
fucking doctors are dumb. They
yeah,
don't fuck
yeah.
them. Fuck doctors.
Doctors are fucking dumb.
There's no fucking I don't know, doctors and lawyers. It's like, what if just by profession, everyone thinks you're fucking smart. And it's like, you people, fuck you.
Yeah, they're just people, right? Like,
Yeah. And some of them suck.
yeah, a lot of people do suck. I run into that all the time. Like in all facets of life, I've run into different like conversations with people where they're like mind blown that I sit there and call doctors dumb. Like,
I
what do you
say it
mean?
all the time. I
Like, what do you
love
mean?
saying it.
Like, doctors aren't fucking like, just because they're a doctor doesn't mean that they're like a smart person. You know, like
Oh, I say it all the time.
there are some doctors that are great, that are
That's a
smart,
hill.
they're intuitive, right? Like
I
they
die on
care.
that hill all the time.
But there's a lot of doctors that are just fucking morons because they're people, and people are morons generally, right? But it's like everyone puts them on this like fucking pantheon of, oh, you're a doctor, you must be really smart. No,
Nope.
nope. Maybe like a neurosurgeon, but even then, do you have to be smart to be a neurosurgeon, or do you just
Not
have to be
exactly.
like technically skilled, right? Like if you're doing brain surgeries all the time, you need to be skilled enough to perform those tasks.
So unfortunately, with like, so take neurosurgeon for example. You need to have a certain base knowledge,
Right. Like
but
I'm
it's
not saying
specific.
like a
It's
fucking dum
specific.
dum can go be a neurosurgeon, but
No, but
like,
it's specific to the industry.
yeah,
Like that's the hard part is if you are quote unquote a world renowned surgeon. Now, work with me here because neurosurgeons, it's about as like tactically difficult as it gets.
yeah,
Like you're dealing with some fucked up shit.
yeah,
Um, if you get in for your residency or what, I don't know the fucking tiers. I don't give a fuck. But like if you basically like work your way up in the right hospitals, in the right cities, and in the right places, eventually you'll just be like one of the top guys or girls like in the industry just based on like the hospital reputation.
right.
Like if you were just like, because that's the thing is like if you just meet expectations, but you're a neurosurgeon at MGH, like everyone's gonna look at that like, wow,
Yeah, yeah,
wow, that's so impressive. And it's like, I mean, average accountants don't get any fucking credit.
yeah,
Like that's the thing. I don't know.
yeah. It's like people are like, wow, you're an accountant at, you know, APMG or fucking EY.
All the same shit.
It's like that's kind of the equivalent, like you said, of being the neurosurgeon at MGH, right? It's like, okay, cool. You work for a prestigious company.
Yeah. I mean,
That doesn't
credit to you.
necessarily
You haven't fucked it all up.
right, right. Yeah,
But yeah, it doesn't indicate intelligence or it doesn't do anything.
right.
It just means you're good at what you do.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's the thing is
Basic.
like a general physician, that's who I'm usually making fun of.
Yeah, I think
General,
general physicians are probably the dumbest of all doctors.
they're not even good at what they do.
Yeah. Well, because a lot of them get basically bought out by pharma companies.
Well, no, so this is actually my biggest thing. So forget about the like the behind the scenes, the pay, all that, because we know all that shit. My thing with a general physician is the system is fucked and no one and like they've allowed it to go this way. So people go to you with a whole host of fucking God knows what. And they're always wired to find a solution, whether it's like dope them up or take two, like whatever the solution is.
Yeah.
There's too many of them that are trying to find solutions to shit they don't know the fucking answer to, when they should realistically be like, I don't actually know what you have going on. You know, here are a couple symptoms, so we can do that. This is who you should really go see. And it's like, if they were just like the point person moving people around, then I wouldn't be shitting on them.
Right.
But when you go to your, like when a kid like fucking bangs up their ankle, goes to general physician, the general physician goes, well, you know what you want to do? Take 2 weeks. And if it doesn't get any better, you come talk to me.
Yeah. Yeah. What kind of
And
fucking
then
medical advice is that?
And then when it gets a little bit better, it's like, oh, it's a little bit better. It's like, oh, well, yeah, you just got to give it time, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was that a fucking orthopedic
Yeah.
like is that an orthopedic strategy? No, you fucker. Send the people where the fuck they need to go.
Right. Right. Yeah. If you're
Stop pretending you know everything. You don't.
if you're a general practitioner and someone comes in with like extreme GI distress, right? Like they're constantly fucking in stomach pain, they're shitting their brains out, they might puke a couple times a week. Like, I don't know, maybe send them for a referral to a GI doctor.
Maybe.
And
how about this? Stop talking about exercise and nutrition because you people don't know shit. We know that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, don't forget your 30 minutes a day.
You guys don't know anything. You took 1 semester of nutrition in fucking 7 years.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Or be an obesity doctor. Pick one.
Yeah. Oh, fats are bad for you. Everyone knows that fats are bad. Like, what is this? The fucking 70s?
I wish we were still in the times of like, you know, your doctor smokes Viceroys, because at least back then it was probably fucking normal people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not the bullshit we have now.
Camels, the top choice of your physician.
Yeah.
Smoke what your doctor smokes.
Yeah.
My doctor recommends Marlboro.
Yeah. Tarratin unfiltered.
Yeah, like let's not forget that these are the same, not obviously not the same people, right? Because those people are probably mostly dead at this point or retired. But these are the same type of people 30 years ago that were saying, "Oh, yeah, doctors recommend you smoke Marlboros. If you're going to smoke anything, you better smoke a Marlboro," right? Like, remember, doctors used to say that.
Hashtag ad.
Remember, also, doctors used to say that butter was bad for you and you should eat margarine instead. How did that work out for everyone?
Pretty good.
And their fucking random cancers that just started popping up because margarine is quite literally chemicals. Like, it's just a bunch of chemicals.
Doesn't even taste good either.
No, it doesn't.
I wonder if my mother still eats that shit.
I hope
like
not.
growing up, it was like, oh, I can't believe it's not butter. Like,
yeah.
For some reason, I fucking can.
Yeah, I for sure can. Yeah. Yeah. I believe it because your shit sucks.
Yeah, this does not taste as good as butter.
Yeah. You're not supposed to be able to spray butter, right? Like there should be no like fucking spritz bottle for butter. Oh, I can't believe it's not butter. I can. What kind of butter can you fucking spritz out of a bottle? Doesn't make any
Especially
sense.
if it came out of the fridge. Should be a solid.
Yeah, should be a solid. What the fuck? What are we doing?
Theoretically.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, doctors are dumb. Well, that being said, you want to wrap up this first guy so we can
we can wrap this
take
up.
a quick break and come back for the second guy?
So by the time this comes out, I don't fucking know how long ago it was. I spent a decent amount of time watching the Walker Cup, which, if anyone gives a flying fuck, that is like the amateur Ryder Cup. And now some of you are still sitting here like, what the fuck are you even speaking about? Golf matches. So the Walker Cup, it was this past Saturday, Sunday. So I guess it's Labor Day weekend. Like, that's what we're talking about. So I don't know when the fuck this comes out, like how fucking many years in the future it is. But so main motivation for watching was that it was at the old course. So you know, I knew it was the me and Leo show this past week. or weekend. So I put it on the DVR or whatever the fuck YouTube TV has, the library, whatever the fuck. A lot of coverage, but it's, I mean, obviously it's golf, so it's like I like watching golf. Um, it's hard to use what some of the amateurs do because like we've seen them in some of the majors. So it's like I wasn't exactly watching to see how do they play the course? Like the pros will play it this way, but how do they get like I don't know the old course that well. They play there like they don't play there often enough. Um but it was interesting to see the old course with sunlight. I don't think I've ever watched a round of golf at St. Andrews with
Yeah.
sunlight. It's always dark and cloudy and usually raining. It's never sunny.
Yeah.
Like I have never seen that. And I thought the broadcast also did a pretty good
Was it green?
greenish. I mean, as green as
Because I feel
Scotland
like,
gets.
yeah, I was gonna say because I feel like normally it's like brown or
Yeah, so it's not. I mean, it was greenish. I mean, we've gotten a shitload of rain. I assume Scotland is similar weather. I don't know
yeah.
why I assume that, but
I mean, our weather goes that way, right?
they
like
gotta get it
whatever
at
we
some
get
point,
here,
right?
the shit goes that way.
I don't know. The whole world's fucking flooding and shit. So Scotland's green. um, but so that was definitely interesting. And again, I was kind of just watching it just to like see that place a little bit more because anyone who's ever been like it's one of those things like you get some mixed reviews like some people talk about Pebble, you get some mixed reviews like oh it's overrated or it's not worth the money and oh well if I had $750 to play golf, I would play Bethpage 5 times. Like it's shit like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but like everyone like always says the old course is like better than expected. Like every single time, that's what they say. So it's like I did like kind of wanted to see. So I mean, I think the Walker Cup's cool. I'm not poetic about the amateur game or any of that shit because all those dudes are gonna be fucking pros. Like there's nothing poetic about that shit because um like the book the match obviously like amateurism used to be this thing like it's like
Right.
oh the purity of the that's bullshit. Like Gordon Sargent will be a pro when he's done with school. He's like a fucking sophomore in college.
Yeah.
um like Stuart Hagestad's out there but he's like 30 and he's like a fucking I think he comes from money and I think he earns a shitload of money without having to work all that much. Like I think he's in finance or something.
Yeah.
So like yeah he's 32, he's like the career am out there but like when he goes to a major championship, it's not like he competes. He might get low am, maybe.
Right. Right.
Um, but going forward, Walker Cup sites, fucking lights out. I don't have a list in front of me. They are fucking sick. And if they're gonna actually start putting that shit on TV for it was only the singles or I guess it was like a recap from the foursomes. Do they
Do
just
they
do
do the Walker
foursomes?
Cup every year, or is it
I think it's every other.
every like
The last one was
the
at
rider?
Seminole. It was at Seminole in 2021, which I rewatched some of that. That's a cool spot. Um, but yeah, honestly, it's just like seeing some of these venues, like with actual coverage, like that's pretty fucking cool because you hear about some of these places, and it's like, you know, I know LACC just had a US Open, but if someone came to me about LACC, I'm like, where the fuck would I ever like see shit about this place? Outside of the fried egg, because fuck
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Fucking he pisses me off. Um, but yeah, I mean, if the Walker Cup's gonna be like televised and covered, like pretty cool shit, to be perfectly honest. Plus it's match play, so it's like dudes are fucking burying putts on each other and celebrating and shit like that. Like there is something different than just like normal stroke play.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. Unfortunately, I did know who won earlier, and then when I was watching it, I fell asleep. So I didn't watch it in its entirety, but I got the gist. St. Andrews. And they had to play in some fucking wind. Holy.
I'm trying to see if I can find it. I think they're going to Cypress Point,
Yep.
and then they're going back to Seminole.
Yeah, I don't know all of them, but I'm sure they'll go to Bandon at some point, unless Bandon's going to anchor down with the USAM. But I don't see why they couldn't have a Walker Cup out there. You don't need fans. There's no grandstands or anything.
Yeah,
But I even
yeah.
think like their Euro trash fucking locations are supposed to be pretty good. Like La Hinch is supposed to be good. They are going to Bandon. RNA, so let's pick the next one. Oakmont. It's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. All right. What do I want to use for my final thought here? I'm gonna use this one. So I've got a gripe with Target. So you know this because obviously you've been to my house a million times, but I live literally down the street from a Target. I could walk there if I wanted to, but I go there pretty frequently, right? Whenever I need something quick, or if I've forgot something in Market Basket, I can typically snag it at Target, or like, if you need something goofy, like when I made the this is actually when it happened, when I made the pinwheel the night before I made it, when I was wrapping it and doing everything, I realized that I didn't have any provolone. So I had to go to Target and just got like the Sargento prepackaged fucking provolone. So I go to Target, and Amy needed Baby Bell cheese because she eats those at night. So I went there, I get that. There might have been one other thing that I needed to grab. So I go in Target, and I snag like three things, right? And I go to walk over to the registers, and the line is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know how to describe it with, like, for people that don't know Target or like that specific Target, but it was all the way back into like the fucking makeup section. So I would say, if I had to guess, 10, I would say there was at least 20 yards, about maybe like 50 feet, right? 50 feet to 60 feet of a line in this fucking place. Now, Target is probably the second largest box store in the country behind Walmart. And the register area in this Target, I think, has 12 registers. How many do you want to guess?
One.
We're open. Yeah, there was one. There was one register open, but that's okay because Target did this thing not that long ago where they installed like basically like an aisle of self-checkout kiosks, right? So there's 4 of them at this Target. How many of those do you think were functioning when I was there?
Greater than or equal to 0.
There were 2. So of the 4 self-checkout kiosks that they had, 2 were functioning, and of 12 registers, 1 was open with a human. And the line was literally 50 feet long, roughly, of people. And it was fucking wild. They eventually found someone to come to the register. So then they had 2 registers open. And then there was some poor woman who was trying to fix the registers, and she could only fix one of them, like the self-checkout ones. So then there was 3. So by the time I made it like halfway through the line, there were 2 registers with people at them that were open, and then 3 of the 4 self-checkouts. So here's my fucking problem. if you're going to take up all that space in the checkout area with 12 registers, right? Like I'm assuming all targets are kind of laid out the same. Like, you know how like in a grocery store, like there's one aisle for the register, right? But at Target, one aisle has two registers, right? Is that how like your Target is too? Generally, that's how Target goes. So in one aisle, there's two registers. So there's 6 aisles, right? 12 registers. That's a lot of fucking space. If you're going to take up all that space with registers and not put people at them, take them the fuck out and just go all self checkouts. Like if you're only gonna
all self checkout,
if you're only going to staff, because there have been other times I've been in there. I like I said, I go in there all the fucking time. I've never seen more than 4. The maximum number of registered, like manned registers that I've seen open at a time is 4 out of 12. So why do you still have 12? Why don't you just go down to 6 and then add 8 more self checkouts, right? So then you have 6 manned registers and you have 12 self checkouts. Do you know how much fucking smoother things would be? Because that's the problem, right? Like, that's where the bottleneck comes from. Like, you have to check out, right? Like, you have to pay for the shit in the store. And if you're not going to pay employees to stand at the register and let me pay you to purchase whatever I'm trying to purchase, then at least give me the decency of not having to spend upwards of 30 minutes in standing in a fucking line like a jackass when I only need 3 things to like get in and get out. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous.
You're asking for too much.
Yeah, I know. And like normally it's not a problem, right? Like normally they'll have all 4 registers up and running. They'll have, 2 to 3, sometimes 4 manned registers open. There's not that many people there and it's fine. It's not that big of a problem, right? You might stand in line for a few minutes, but it moves quick because it's the self-checkout line has the 4 registers. So it's, it's moving pretty quickly. Nope, not this time. Not this past weekend. I was gone for like a half hour to get 3 things. When I walked to the line and met the line in like the makeup department, I stood there and was like, I might turn around, put everything back, drive down Route 1 a little bit further, go to Stop and Shop, get what I need there, and then go back home. And in hindsight, that probably was the right move to make. Like I should have put everything back and went to Stop and Shop, and I would have been able to get in and out of there and home before I actually did at Target.
The Stop and Shop near me needs to do the same thing. They have like 2 registers open and 4 fucking self checkouts with no one who knows what the fuck they're doing at them.
Yeah, the Stop and Shop in South Attleboro has like a million fucking self checkouts. They have like, I think it's 4 on one end, and then they have like 12. They have like a little corral, like you know how they have at Walmart where there's like 15 of them in like a box, like in a square. They have that, but then they still have probably 15 to 20 traditional registers, but they only staff 6 of them. So that's the thing. Like, I don't understand if you're going to be a major company and you're going to have all of these registers, but you're not going to staff them. What's the fucking point?
Fucking dumb.
Yeah. So fuck them. Fuck Target. I'm still going to keep going there, but they piss me off. So that's going to do it for us. Thank you for watching. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to click subscribe up above. Hit the like button down below. Tell everybody you know about the show. You can subscribe if you're an audio only guy. Spotify and iTunes. Now you can leave us a review and 5 stars. So you should go do that. Por favor. Y gracias. You can get us on Instagram at Sarcasm Speaks Pod. We're on Twitter at Sarcasm_Speaks. The Facebook is Sarcasm Speaks. At this point, we've already started the weekly NFL pick'em, but you can still get in. It's $6 a week. $5 goes to the weekly winner. $1 goes into the yearly pool. There's a chance you might still be able to win the yearly pool if you only missed a week. It's possible, right? But even, if your goal is not the week, the yearly, then you can still win the weekly and still win a ton of money, right? So check us out there. Reach out to us, on one of the social medias or text or whatever. We'll get you the information for the pick'em pool if you're interested. And thank you to mybookie.com. Use the promo code sarcasmpod to double your first deposit up to $1,000. Thank you to noonbrew.com. I was just drinking them during the show in this teacup here. Great sleep tea, helps you, wind down, get ready for bed, great night's sleep, all that jazz. Use the promo code in the show notes below, and that will get you 10% off your order every single time you check out. And then lastly, we have the Ice Pod. So you go to the icepod.com, order one of their cold plunges, and you use the promo code in the show notes, and you will get $10 off plus free shipping over there. So that is going to do it for us for this episode for right now, until we come back for the next one. Good night, everybody.